All right, everybody put your hands together for the bridal party. All right, first up, we've got your ushers, Ray Turner and Josh Hinckley. Woo! Woohoo! Then Kaylee Jones and Paul Johnson. Michelle Miernicki and Patrick Johnson. Doug Clark and Cassandra Clark. Rachel Jablonski and Matthew Splitgerber. Aaron Vanderwater and Tyler Five. Susie Speakout and Jack Elser. Cassie Warner and Nate Minkle. And the maid of honor and best man, Carissa Stangaroni and Timothy Johnson. And introducing, for the first time, Mr. and Mrs. James Johnson. Everybody stand up and give them an applause. All right.
Father in heaven, we bless you and we thank you that you've brought so many of our family and friends together in this one spot for this joyful occasion of witnessing the marriage of James and Heather. And we ask you to continue to pray for them, that their marriage will be a success. And we thank Jesus Christ, who has broken death and who brings life to the world. And we ask you, God our Father, to bless us, our Lord, and these thy gifts, which we're about to receive, through thy bounty through Christ our Lord.
Amen. Thank you. You know, James, when you called me a while back and asked if I could speak at your wedding, I was greatly honored. I was greatly honored to give a speech at your wedding, but in the back of my mind, I was wondering how I was going to be able to top or even match the speech that you gave at mine. For those that weren't there, he probably gave the most well-written and thought-out speech that I'd ever heard. The only problem was that all the guests had all their drinks finished by the time it was over, and there wasn't any drinks left for the actual toast.
And all that being said, I realized that I wouldn't be able to match that speech that he gave, and so I figured all of y'all have already listened to one sermon tonight, and so I'm not going to make you sit through two. Being at Thanksgiving weekend kind of reminds us of a lot that we have to be thankful for, and I'm personally thankful for the opportunity that I had to cross paths with James. We met at Loras College 9 years ago, hard to believe, where we played soccer for 4 years and we were roommates for 3 years. And I know James has 3 brothers of his own, but for me, growing up with 2 sisters, James became like a brother to me. I was thinking about all the words I could use to describe James's qualities, and the problem was not being able to come up with any, but where to cut it off, because he has so many good qualities. Whether it's him teaching his students or coaching his players or playing in his own athletic competitions, James is driven and dedicated to doing the best he can and bringing out the best in those around him. The passion he carries himself with in his daily activities is unparalleled. He's extremely knowledgeable and well-spoken, and he's normally open to listening to others' ideas and has an open ear, except when you're debating who buzzed in first with the correct Jeopardy answer, or if you're debating which is better, Crown Royal or Admiral Nelson. But many of you here already know the good qualities that James has. And Heather, I just want to tell you that I know James is going to carry all these qualities into your marriage and that much more. I'm so happy for the two of you, and wish you many joyous years together. And thank you again for allowing me to share in this special day with you. So everyone could raise their glass. Cheers to Heather and James.
Hi, my name is Cassie. I've been friends with Heather for about 2.5 years now. Before befriending Heather, to be honest, I was scared of her. But then, someone decided that we would spend 16 hours in a car driving out to upstate New York for a summer leadership program. That's a lot of hours to spend in a car with someone you're intimidated by. But by the goodness of God, I survived and my fear of Heather went away. We then spent the rest of the summer working closely together and developing a friendship. And then last year, I was blessed to have lived with Heather and grow alongside her as we watched hours upon hours of The Walking Dead, died together doing Jillian Michaels workout videos, and encouraged one another in our walk with Christ. Through my friendship with Heather, I've noticed many wonderful qualities about her, but 3 of them really stand out. The first is that she is compassionate. If you didn't know, Heather is a social worker at an alternative school, and it's very apparent to me just how much her life revolves helping these children. Additionally, she deeply cares for others, whether that's a friend in need, reaching out to a new person at church, or supporting James through his busy soccer seasons. Secondly, Heather is committed. She's committed to her faith, her family and friends, and forever to you, James. Heather, it's been so inspiring to see you live out your faith and commitment to include God in every decision you make. Last but not least, Heather is unpredictable. I'm sure the many roommates she's had over the years can attest to this. I sure can. But now, James, best of luck to you, as you are now the only target of all her household pranks. When you're around Heather, you are in for a good time and will surely be surprised by what comes out of her mouth. Although I'm not even going to attempt to embarrass you, Heather, so you're welcome. Also, probably not appropriate, a lot of my stories about her. I could go on about Heather, how much I love her, how beautiful she is, a woman of God, but we'd be here all night, so let me move on. If you were to ask Heather and James to describe my relationship with them in 2 words, they would definitely say third wheel. Netflix binging, dinner dates, the many times James and I outnumbered Heather 2-1 to go to the movie theater and eat lots of popcorn. I've experienced it all. Both of their friendships have been huge blessings in my life, and I have truly enjoyed seeing them grow in their love for one another through the fun times, but also as they work through the tough stuff. Both Heather and James's faith has been tested these past 2 years together, but through it all, God's loving hand has protected and renewed their relationship because of their trust in Him. I'm so in awe of the strong, beautiful relationship that you two have already built, and I'm so eager to see what's in store for you as a married couple. Thank you both so much for bringing me along for a ride as your third wheel. I'm so excited and honored to be here with 2 of my best friends today. Heather, I'm so thankful for your friendship and your constant encouragement. And James, thank you for being a man who I know will take care of Heather and point her towards God in many years to come. So, if you would all raise a glass with me to toast the new Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, may the Lord bless you as you continue to love and care for one another, and may you never find a better third wheel than myself. Cheers.
All right. I know one of the people before me talked about not giving a sermon wider. Okay. I know one of the people before me talked about not giving a sermon, and I tried to make it short, but it's probably going to be a little bit longer than the others, so bear with me. I had to write it out because I'm not a great speaker, but here we go. Anyone who has spent some time with any of the Johnsons ought to have heard of the famed suitcase game, at least once. For those who have forgotten, let me refresh. On multiple occasions, James led a coalition of my brothers to stuff me in a 3 by 2.5 foot duffel bag. To put it in perspective, before hiding me inside said duffel bag across various locations around the Johnson home. The goal of the game was for me to guess where I was while inside the bag. Whether it be the attic, the swing set, or the 7-foot ledge from where I once plummeted, suitcase bound, onto the floor below after a failed placement by our wonderful groom himself. The suitcase game is just one of many examples of the aggressive relationship between James and I over the years. I believe our brotherly feud began as early as age 2, when 12-year-old James thought he could win a game of peekaboo with me, with his baby brother. When he slipped and knocked 2 teeth out on the bathroom floor, I think he realized the competition got real. At first, I submitted to my older, wiser brother. I would fetch him soda and food while he watched TV, give him back massages upon request, which involved me literally walking on his back. And sometimes, I even let him believe he was halfway decent at FIFA. James describes the first time I refused to run and get him a soda from upstairs as, quote, one of the worst moments of my life. He always tells me that from that point on, I was no longer his slave. With all this in mind, it's easy to wonder why James even picked me to be his best man. The leap from enslavement to being the most critical groomsman in your wedding is quite a jump. But I came up with some speculations. One is that, out of our brothers, he's chosen me as the most resilient. The Johnson household is a dangerous place. Yet, compared to a combined total of 12 broken bones, 90 plus stitches, and 3 lost teeth among all my brothers, most of which were injuries that were caused by each other, I have a clean record of 0 broken bones, 0 lost teeth, and only 20-ish stitches. More probable is that there was simply too many good options to choose from between all of the incredible family and friends James has accumulated over his high school, college, and teaching career. However, my honest best guess for this unlikely pick for best man is that James sees in me a younger version of himself. We're both hopeless romantics. We share a passion for all things soccer, and we're both terrible at knowing what to do with our hands during casual conversation. More importantly, James has a strong, tested faith in God that is much similar to my own. Over the years, I have grown by watching my brother evolve in his faith through every success and every mistake in his life. Heather will attest that, as a family of boys, we don't enjoy talking about our feelings. Yet I still have always known that, when I need it, I can express to James about parts of my life I couldn't with anyone else. Before Heather, most of these expressions were nonverbal. Now that she's around to drag it out of us, James and I have opened up all new levels of communication between us. In the end, it's a weird feeling for me to watch my first brother get married, and it's especially odd to have a new girl in the family. However, I don't think James could have found anyone better to be the new sister-in-law of Paul, Pat, and I. Anyone who has been around the new couple enough should know that James and Heather are complete opposites in many ways. The way in which Heather sprinted frantically around this banquet hall yesterday, setting up, while James casually strolled from table to table, lackadaisically placing centerpieces, might have everyone worried for their relationship. But not anyone who truly knows James and Heather and what they stand for. I recall something that Grandma Johnson told me yesterday evening. Something along the lines of, as long as they have God, they're going to make it just fine. I know that these two have worked and continue to work very hard to make sure Grandma Johnson's advice reigns true in their relationship. And only with God's help, I know they're going to make it just fine, and nobody's going to get stuffed in a suitcase again. Hey, I have some water, so let's raise a toast.
So, hi. I'm going to move this so I can see them. Okay. So Heather and James, I just want to let you know that I prepared a Harry Potter inspired dance featuring soccer themes for you. It's an interpretive dance. Is that okay? Okay. But I'm not going to perform that today. So you can choose when you want it, just not right now. So as I was working on this, I struggled a little bit writing it because there are so many inside jokes, memories, and experiences that I wanted to include, but I realized that you'd be here for a few weeks and you have things to do. So I did want to say, Heather, I'm so sincerely thankful for all the opportunities we've been able to experience together, from living in Costa Rica to sharing a bathroom in Urbana for 4.5 years. I'm actually quite sad that today marks the end of our potential domestic partnership. Thanks. But I'm also really excited for you and James to start the first day of your marriage together. Heather, you were the first person who helped me open up to people because I could tell that you genuinely cared. This was after we deflected each other's deflecting comments at Zaz. But I felt like you were safe to talk to and one of the few people who really helped me open up and feel the freedom to be cared for. And I've seen ways that you've done that with so many people outside of just me. The day I knew that our friendship became something real was when we climbed a 13,000 foot high mountain in Colorado together that was comprised of 4 different ranges. And after climbing and exploring the first 3 ranges of what I would consider comparable to the trek from the Lord of the Rings movie, which also included a bear sighting and a wilderness pee break, I knew that we were pretty exhausted after those first 3 ranges. But the final mountain range looked like a little hill with some rocks compared to our trek to reach Mordor. So Heather and I looked at each other and decided that maybe we should go for it. We were with about 10 people, and everyone seemed pretty up for it. But little did we know, it seemed as if everyone else somehow gained the equivalent surges of energy as one of the kids that Heather and James work with after eating a bunch of pixie sticks. Heather and I didn't get that, but everyone else seemed to. So we got about 15 minutes in, and Heather asked if she could just lay down for a second. And I was like, sure, yeah. So she closed her eyes and just like sprawled out on the ground, just like. So I thought she was fake sleeping, and I was like, haha, Heather, that's really funny. Let's keep moving. But she actually like dead fell asleep, like passed out within 2 seconds. So it took me a while to wake her up from this insta deep sleep, but we kept going. And again, Heather wanted to rest, and I'm all about taking breaks, so I was like, let's do it, great. She must have fallen asleep within 15 seconds at least 6 times on this trek up the mountain that took like a few hours. And at this point, the majority of the others had somehow gained gazelle speed and were out of screaming distance. And I knew this because we tried screaming for help, like over and over again. But we couldn't see anyone in our group. And that was the first time that we experienced what a real false peak was. And then another and another, and I'm amazed that we survived, actually. But so it was these false peaks and insta sleep over and over again. So we had to kind of encourage each other up this mountain. And Heather would say, just leave me. And I'd say, I'm not leaving you, we just saw a bear. How have we got there yet? And we just kept going back and forth. So through encouragement, prayer, rest, and the fear for our lives, we finally made it to the top of this mountain range and reunited with our friends, who had been sitting up there for at least 45 minutes probably. They said they were ready to go right when we got up there. We were like, that's funny. No, we're not doing that. So we just kept sitting there. And then finally we were like, okay, I guess we'll go because there was a hailstorm coming. And then we had to go down the hill. And the adventure continued. So that was a day that I realized that our friendship was real because that was intense. And the reason I wanted to share that story is because I think it's hilarious, first of all. But I think it also reflects a ridiculously awesome friendship. But it's also real and perhaps alludes to marriage. It was adventurous, challenging, confusing, exciting, exhausting, beautiful, and awesome all at the same time. I would want no one else to do that experience with than you. James, you've got a great adventure buddy, and I'm excited to hear about and be a part of future exhilarating adventures with the 3 of us, maybe. I don't know. But overall, I believe that God has taught us a lot about unconditional love through our friendship, and I think we've been friends for 7 or 8 years and probably best friends for 6 or 7. I've been seeing the ways that God's been working through you and James in developing this unconditional love through your relationship. The ways that Heather's been softening her heart, learning about communication, really loving through challenges, and even making sports references at least one time, which was a big deal. So I think it was 2 weeks ago. I remember. But James, I'm continuing to see ways that you offer the gentle, compassionate spirit that you've been gifted with, while really pursuing truth and righteousness as a leader. You're beautifully generous with your time, service, and gifts. You're personable, humble, and really eager to learn, which I think are awesome qualities. I knew when Heather was single, we would say like single for life. And we were always like, I don't know what Heather's husband's going to be like. That'll be interesting. But just like those qualities that you have are really amazing, and I'm excited to see what happens and how God uses your marriage and the qualities that you guys have been designed with. I love you both, and I'm really excited that we, as all people who genuinely care about you, are able to celebrate this commitment that you guys are making tonight and in future years. So if you guys will raise a glass so we can toast Heather and James.
Alright, we'll make this as fast as possible. I heard a long time ago that there is the worst speaker is the speaker that holds the people down before they get the food. So we'll try to make this as fast as possible. Basically, just want to say a big thank you. Absolutely, from the bottom of my heart, like, honest to goodness, those people who know me know that it's not that hard for me to actually talk like that, because I kind of talk that way a lot of the time. But no, I mean, it really does just mean so much. And I mentioned last night at the rehearsal dinner, but the same thing rings true, that I've been to all these weddings, I guess recently, kind of at the age where everybody's getting married, I guess. And a lot of times it's kind of a similar type thing that I hear, like, oh, thank you everyone for coming, it means so much, I can't believe all these people care for us, etc. And I'm up here right now, and that is exactly what's on my heart. I cannot believe how many people are here, how many people care for us. And Heather and I were just talking about it just now, can you believe so and so's here from New Jersey or New York or Florida or Nigeria or wherever the heck people are coming from. So many people care for us, and we really are just so incredibly thankful for that. And it's just so appropriate that it is around the time of Thanksgiving. Heather's got her group from home, her family, her Chicago friends, her U of I friends. As for me, I have my family, I have my Peoria friends, I have my Laura's friends. I have so many different groups here, and it really just makes, when you get married, it just makes you reflect on how many great people you're so blessed to know in your life. And I'm so corny and sappy. Heather knows this, so I need to just cut it off right now. But thank you guys so much. I love you all. And Heather has a quick word.
Yes, I second everything he said. I just wanted to say that I left something in Champaign, but it was a note that just said we made a donation in behalf of our guests to the International Rescue Committee, which is serving very vulnerable families and people all throughout the world, but they're especially helping with displacing the refugees right now from Syria. So we made a donation on behalf of our guests, and if you'd like more information, the website is rescue.org, and they have a spot for you to donate and donate Christmas gifts and things if you want to do that in someone's honor. So
how can they donate?
On the website, rescue.org. So I just wanted to tell you guys that, and thank you for being here. And we're so blessed to have you. And we're going to dismiss you for dinner now. So it's coming.
And I can't sweep you off of your feet. Will your mouth still remember the taste of my love? Will your eyes still smile from your cheek? Darling, I will be loving you till we're 70. Baby, my heart could still fall as hard at 23. And I'm thinking about how people fall in love in mysterious ways. Maybe just the touch of a hand. Well, me, I fall in love with you every single day. And I just wanna tell you I am. So honey, now take me into your loving arms. Kiss me under the light of 1,000 stars. Place your hand on my beating heart. I'm thinking out loud, maybe we found love right where we are. When my hair's all but gone and my memory fades, and the crowds don't remember my name. When my hands don't play the strings the same way, know you will still love me the same. 'Cause honey, your soul could never grow old, it's evergreen. Baby, your smile's forever in my mind and memory. I'm thinking about how people fall in love in mysterious ways. Maybe it's all part of the plan. I'll just keep on making the same mistakes, hoping that you'll understand. But baby, now take me to your loving arms. Kiss me under the light of 1,000 stars. Place your hand on my beating heart. Thinking out loud that maybe we found love right where we are. Baby, now take me into your loving arms. Kiss me under the light of 1,000 stars. Oh, darling, place your head on my beating heart. Thinking out loud that maybe we found love right where we are. Or maybe we found love right where we are. And we found love right where we are.
Someday, when I'm awfully low, when the world is cold, I will feel a glow just thinking of you in the way you look tonight. Yes, you're lovely, with your smile so warm and your cheeks so soft. There is nothing for me but to love you and the way you look tonight. With each word, your tenderness grows, tearing my fear apart. And that laugh wrinkles your nose, touches my foolish heart. Lovely, never change. Keep that breathless charm. Won't you please arrange it? 'Cause I love you just the way you look tonight. All right.
There's a young cowboy who lives on the range. His horse and his cattle are his only companions. works in the saddle and he sleeps in the canyon, waiting for summer, his pastures to change. And as the moon rises, he sits by his fire, thinking about women and glasses of beer, and closing his eyes as the doggies retire. He sings out a song which is soft but it's clear, as if maybe someone could hear. Good night, you moonlight ladies, rock-a-bye, sweet baby Jane. Deep greens and blues are the colors I choose. Won't you let me go down in my dreams and rock-a-bye, sweet baby James? Now the 1st of December was covered with snow, so was the turnpike from Stockbridge to Boston. Though the Berkshires seemed dreamlike on account of that frosting, with 10 miles behind me and 10,000 more to go. There's a song that they sing when they take to the highway, a song that they sing when they take to the sea, a song that they sing of their home in the sky. Maybe you can believe it if it helps you to sleep, but singing works just fine for me. So good night, you moonlight ladies, rock-a-bye, sweet baby Jane. Deep greens and blues are the colors I choose. Won't you let me go down in my dreams and rock-a-bye, sweet baby Jane?
She No fear, go to sleep in the lion's den. Let go that sparkling crown. You're looking at the king of the jungle now. Stronger than ever, can't hold me down. I'm let my running from the pictures bound. Straight lane play, this game play. See me running through the crowd full of melee. No trick plays, I'm built dead. Take a genius to understand me.
Sometimes I get a feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a feeling, yeah.
like a romance to me. So come on up, it blows me away. She's everything I want to say to a woman, but I couldn't find the words to say. She got one up, I don't know what to do. Cause every time I try to tell her how I feel, it comes out, I love you.
Show down your boots and ruin your black tie thing. Last one to know, last one to show. I was the last one you thought you'd see there. And I saw the surprise and the fear in his eyes when I took his glass of champagne. And I toasted you, said, honey, we may be through, but you'll never hear me complain. 'Cause I got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away. And I'll be okay. Yeah, I'm not big on social graces. Think I'll slip on down to the oasis. So I got friends in low places.
Like a small boat on the ocean, sending big waves into motion, like how we sing.